Before we dive into tonight's story, take just a single moment and subscribe to this channel. Not for numbers, not because it's routine, but because every story shared here is real. Not just words, they are echoes of pain we hide, moments of healing we hesitate to face, and love we sometimes fail to name. If you've ever felt invisible in a room full of people, if you've ever smiled while quietly breaking inside, if you've ever lain awake at night, wondering whether anyone would notice if you simply disappeared, then stay with me. Stay with me until the very end. Because sometimes the quietest nights speak the loudest truths. And sometimes one ordinary evening, seemingly nothing special, changes everything. It was just another night. Or at least, that's what I thought. The air in the house felt familiar, heavy in a way that's neither comforting nor frightening, just constant. The lights were dim, casting soft yellow pools in corners where shadows stretched lazily, like they had all the time in the world. The refrigerator hummed in the background, a sound so steady, so mundane, that I barely noticed it anymore. I had just finished folding the last towel, and placed it neatly on the chair. Then, almost automatically, I checked the front door lock twice. Not out of fear, it was habit. That little sigh that comes when the outside world finally loosens its grip floated out of me, small, quiet, almost unnoticed. Everything was routine, predictable, safe. Or at least, that's what I wanted to believe. And then I heard it. A voice. Soft. Hesitant. Almost unsure of itself. At first I ignored it. The house always made noises. Old wood creaking, pipes shifting, the wind whispering through gaps I never bothered to seal. But this was different. It wasn't random. It wasn't mechanical. It was my name. Spoken gently, almost fearfully, like the words themselves were fragile. My body reacted before my mind could. I froze. Every muscle tensed. Silence followed. I almost laughed at myself. Almost returned to the book I was pretending to read. Then again, softer this time, almost a whisper, fragile, pleading my name. And something inside me shifted. The comfort I'd wrapped around myself like a blanket all evening dissolved instantly. My heart picked up its pace, though I couldn't explain why. This wasn't fear crashing over me. It was subtler, creeping in quietly. And somehow I knew, this wasn't just another ordinary night. Our house had a rhythm. My husband, George, always went upstairs early. He would sit on the bed, muttering about the news or the world falling apart, then turn off the light and drift into sleep long before I followed. We had been married long enough that silence had become our language. Not angry silence. Not bitter silence. Just absence. Living side by side, performing the motions of life, while fully living stopped somewhere along the way. I used to believe this was normal, that love quietly settles into companionship. But lately, the quiet had started to feel different. Lonely, even when we were together. I lingered downstairs longer than necessary, pretending to read. The words on the page blurred together, slipping away before they could reach my mind. Outside, rain began tapping softly against the windows, rhythmic, patient, almost deliberate. Everything in the living room was exactly where it should be. And yet, something felt wrong. Then the voice returned. This time, there was no ignoring it. I placed the book down carefully, almost afraid that even the softest sound could shatter whatever delicate moment was unfolding. One step at a time, I climbed the staircase. Each creak of the old wood echoed through the silence, like the house itself was holding its breath. My fingers brushed the railing, damp from the subtle nervousness I didn't even realize I was carrying. I wasn't afraid of the dark. I wasn't afraid of the house. But something deep in my chest whispered, this isn't just another night. As I reached the top of the stairs, the hallway stretched ahead, narrow and dimly lit. The night lamp cast long, soft shadows across the walls, transforming familiar corners into shapes that felt strange, almost alive. And at the end of the hallway, the bedroom door stood slightly ajar. I paused. My heartbeat echoed in my ears, loud and insistent. Then gently, I pushed the door open. There they were. Sitting on the edge of the bed, shoulders slumped, hands covering their face. The bedside lamp cast a warm golden glow, illuminating the exhaustion etched into every line of their posture. Something was very wrong. What's going on? I asked softly, my voice hesitant. No answer. Only shallow, uneven breaths. As if the air itself had grown too heavy to carry. Seconds stretched endlessly. Then, in a voice so quiet it nearly blended with the hum of the lamp, they spoke. I can't sleep, my mind won't stop, sometimes it feels like I can't breathe at all. The words hit me like a physical weight. That tone, fragile, scared, surrendering, was one I knew intimately. I had felt it before. I had lived it. But I had never spoken it out loud. I sat beside them, close enough to share warmth, but far enough to respect their space. You don't have to go through this alone, I whispered. I'm here. The silence that followed was not emptiness. It was heavy with everything they couldn't say, every fear, every exhaustion, every moment of quiet despair they had carried alone. Finally, their eyes lifted, glassy, holding back tears that refused to fall. This wasn't loud pain, not the kind that demands attention. This was the quiet ache, the kind that lingers, hoping someone will notice. I don't think anyone really sees me anymore, they admitted. I feel like I could disappear and nobody would even notice. Those words landed in me with the force of a thunderclap. I had felt that exact same ache, yet hearing it spoken aloud made it unbearable and urgent all at once. I inhaled slowly. Then I said it, the simplest, most powerful words I could think of. I see you. 3 words. Honest. Gentle. Enough to shift the air in the room. Enough to remind them, and myself, that someone was truly present. Nothing dramatic happened. No lightning flashed. No cinematic music swelled. But something shifted inside the room. Those words were more than comfort. They were acknowledgement, a lifeline, a fragile bridge over the silence that had grown between us. Their eyes softened, like someone stepping back from an edge they didn't realize they had reached. We didn't speak after that. We didn't need to. The minutes slipped quietly into hours, carried on the rhythm of our breathing, the soft patter of rain outside, the muted glow of the lamp. The house was the same. The furniture hadn't changed. But I had changed. I had remembered that connection could arrive in the smallest acts. A word, a glance, a presence that says, I notice you. I am here.